Ooh, everybody, can you feel the groove? Grab somebody, let it go. Ooh, everybody, grab somebody. Everybody, grab somebody.
Hello, welcome. Nice to see you, Carmen.
Hello, nice to see you too.
I'm really happy to be here again, but this new week with our roundtable discussions, we are pretty excited about our guests, and I hope them to learn a lot. But please, first of all, we have to introduce each other, Carmen. So, do you make the honors?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Carmen Junquera, also known as Carmen. I'm a host and caster, especially for League of Legends and Wild Rift.
She's amazing, I have to say. And my name is Yasmina. I'm an intellectual property lawyer, but of course, you're not here to listen about law stuff. You're actually here for learning something much interesting that is play to earn, NFTs, and so on. And we are going to talk about sports, something that we love. So we are going to say a huge welcome to our guests. So please, Alfredo, nice to see you here.
Nice to see you as well, and thank you very much for having me here tonight.
We are really excited, and we have not only Alfredo, but we have Omar. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to the discussion. Yeah.
And last but not least, Ricardo. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here as well.
So thank you so much, guys, because I'm pretty excited. I think we are going to learn a lot from you. And of course, because Cam and I, we are not an expert in this area, but I hope to at least to have some knowledge, at least once I finish here.
Okay.
So first, I don't know if we have to start with the question. What do you think, Carmen? Should we start?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you start. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So of course, everyone has, as myself, we are listening about NFTs, play to earn, and so on and so forth. But I think sometimes we don't understand what does it mean, what it's actually are non-fungible tokens. What does it mean playing to earn? So I wanted to have this opportunity to actually learn what does it mean exactly. What is a play to earn? What is an NFT? What is the metaverse? If you can explain a little bit, so I will take advantage of you guys if you can explain it in a nutshell. So
I can start myself if you want. I can do it, at least from my own perspective. Right. So I guess if we talk about play to earn, for me, it's just understanding the concept, no, of those two words. It's just the way of creating a game that rewards you with something that is valuable just because of your time of playing the game, basically. So that might be through tokens, which are basically like cryptocurrencies that can be exchanged in a not very difficult way, I hope, or at least we try to educate in that way, just so someone can convert it to a major cryptocurrency or even fiat, so like money like dollars, euros, or whatever. And then also it could be rewarded with tokens, and that's where probably the NFTs work come to mind, because it's a way also of your ownership or the items you get in the game, the traditional items you will get in a video game like armor, weapons, or whatever, or Pokemons. They can be sort of represented in a non-fungible token, in a token that is yours and is registered as being your property, and then you can sell it, liquidate it as a token or similarly, and have your reward is something you deserve for your time, and something you can convert it to something liquid.
Okay. What do you think,
Right.
Ricardo or Alfredo?
Well, please, Ricardo.
Yeah, no, this is so new for us. Like everybody, we are, on the cusp of Web3, and a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people has used the technology to scam other people. So right now it's a very touchy-feely about NFTs and what it involves, but I think the world that are here, we believe in the technology and we're working towards making something of value, and that's good for the people and our audiences and our players in the end, I guess.
Right. How I see it, I've been in the video games industry for more than 20 years now, either on the part of the publishers and developers at the same time. And from my point of view, play to earn has always existed, basically since the very first online games started. And all the blockchain and DeFi technology, what is now called GameFi, has given the opportunity to us, to publishers and developers, to make it real, to make it legal, or similar to that. And I can put you some examples. In MMORPGs in 2002, 2001, 2003, there were already people playing to earn. There was people playing to earn, selling stuff on eBay, selling their in-game gold, in-game credits, in-game items. I've been one of player of these games for many years, and I've known so many people making lots of money. So giving the ownerships to the players of whatever they purchase is something that has been around for many years. The problem was that the publishers didn't allow players to sell to each other, to trade it. They were saying it was illegal. Well, it wasn't illegal because it was happening and nobody was in jail for that. So legally it was. The problem, it was a problem for the publishers because they were not giving the ownership. Now, all in-app purchases will grant these ownerships to players and they will be able to trade it. And on top of this, there is a DeFi and GameFi layer that provides that players purchasing in some games, some NFTs are going to be earning tokens because they win, or because they, rather than having an in-game currency, they're having a token based on that can be listed on a swap, on a DEX, on a SEX. This is how I see it, right? This is how I see it. So it's finally providing this ownership to players, right? So, but the problem is the issue is that it's being done in a way that is really inflationary and is creating more problems than expected at the start. But I think it will evolve to a better solution.
And that's a good point from Alfredo as well, because it gave me resemblance, because I also have played many games, but especially I've played action RPG games, MMO as well. So I play World of Warcraft, I play Diablo as well. So I've noticed, I think when I started understanding about NFT games, the first game that come to mind that this could be useful was the games of this genre, because as Alfredo said before, in the past, there's always this sort of hidden economy of people sort of selling their accounts or selling items that were very powerful, because others, they just wanted to get those without spending hours and hours in the game grinding towards the progression, isn't it? So the thing is now, before in the past, as you said, that nobody has gone to prison for doing that. But the problem is you could even face a ban in your game, and you don't want it to be banned of the game, no? It's because the game doesn't allow for that. So now everything is more transparent, is just allowing the game, and also because it is transparent, it is legal, it's easier not to get scammed. Well, I mean, the industry still has a lot of things in education, but within the game, within the system is easier, isn't it? It's transparent, the system is honest itself, and it's much better. I mean, giving freedom to the players, giving the ownership of their assets, I think is a step forward, and that's why also I believe in the huge potential of this technology.
I would like to say also that, I mean, we were doing play to earn also, we as Satoshis Games, before GameFi existed. So we were doing play to earn with Bitcoin, and we just were swapping the in-game currency with Satoshis. So that's the name of our company, Satoshi. Satoshis is the smallest part of the Bitcoin, the 100 millionth part. So we were, the soft currency in the game was the Satoshi, and the NFTs were based on Liquid. So there were no granting, no staking, no yield farming, all this stuff that is happening nowadays. So it was the first phase, and we are seeing now in the market games like Outer Ring and similar games that are that their option is going for a not deflationary model, with NFTs not providing pay-to-win features. And from my point of view, that's the next future, the very next future, because more than 6 months you can tell in this market, but it's the next future. That's how I see it. I see that, and I think everybody's seeing this, that games need to be, they need to be good quality. They need to have, they need to actually involve the people who purchase the tokens into the game, so they are getting benefits for staking these tokens and they get benefits in the game. So it's an actual ecosystems. Investors, players, they are practically the same people. Not what we are having now. I think this is how I see it.
Yes, and for us at Nexxyo Labs, we are building a play-to-earn MMORPG, and which is called Outer Ring. And what we're trying to achieve is to, improve the way that MMORPGs are played. There's World of Warcraft, which is like the most iconic one that's been there for almost like 15, 16 years. And of course, before, people will sell their accounts for money and the gold and everything. And now with the blockchain technology, you have all the play to earn. So you don't have to sell your account. You can sell only the NFTs and the assets that you create, and being paid tokens by it in crypto, and then transform that into fiat money if you want. So it's very interesting where this is going, and giving more power to the players with the time they spend in front of the computer, investing time playing the games. So it's quite interesting how I see it as a democratic way moving forward. That the accounts don't belong to the platform or the game, but the account will belong to the player, and the assets will belong to the player, and the money will belong to the player. So that's the interesting thing that's coming up with all the NFTs gaming that's popping up everywhere right now.
That's great, actually.
believe-
Because... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Omar.
Oh, no worries. Just, I was gonna say it's a fairer system, in the sense that normally if a game is successful, it will have a huge player base, but the player will not directly benefit on the success of the game. Now the player can feel itself as I wouldn't say the owner, but as a bigger sense of ownership, because if the game has success, then just by the token or by the bigger demand for the NFTs, it will feel it because if it's progress, it will be meaningful basically, and it will be able to participate. So it's as Ricardo was saying as well, it's just more ownership to the player, more freedom to the player, and more in a more fair community, I would say. Yeah, definitely.
I like all the
and
points that you're saying. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yes, I mentioned that there are even more. Projects that are actually looking for even more than Outer Ring, and there are this Outer Ring, and there are similar games being developed right now with this similar model. And of course, I think this is the very next future, especially because of the quality. And I want to congratulate Ricardo with what they are doing, because it's amazing. I've tested the demos and all that, and I love the game, how it's looking. And I know the people that is behind that, because they come from sandbox MMORPGs, full loop PvP games, and I love those games, and I'm looking forward. Actually, I checked your demo about the asteroid mining, and I had a big flashback of myself going around Tatooine in Star Wars Galaxies, gathering resources from these mining stations. Yeah, I love it. So I wanted to say that there are other games. I'm sure I was searching for the game. I don't remember. I don't see the name. The Seventh Kingdom or or the Eighth Kingdom, something like that. But it's a game that's been developed by a company invested by Ubisoft. And what they are doing is not actually a deflationary token and all this stuff. So it's not only that. It's not only they're going to have a token, a DAO, and all this stuff. They are also putting all the game code into GitHub. They are designing the game so it runs directly on the blockchain, so other people can set up the same. They can take the game, compile it, and make different modes, a version of the game, so the game will be able to run by itself, even if the company disappears, right? Oh. And that's probably the next step if these guys make it right, because that a huge investment in technology and technology and research and everything. So yeah, I think that might be also an important thing to say in this market.
No, I found it interesting because it's like the final point, like something like Ready Player One. I'm not going to say the movie because I read the books and I love more the books than the movie, but it's like the final step that you want to achieve, these metaphors, that reality, the beauty of reality. So you're really nice to see the future. And thank you so much, guys, because this way I understand a little bit further what it means, play to earn. And I like it. I like the concept. I like the idea. Of course, as I think sometimes the problem is not so much technology, but the people. The people is the problem sometimes. But I think if we have projects like you, it's amazing. I saw both of you and Satoshi's game and also All the Ring, and it was amazing. The introduction I saw in the guest with Carmen actually, and we were pretty excited about your projects. And it's nice to have you here and explain all of this. And please, Carmen, go ahead. I don't know if we have to go to the second point.
I want to ask first, why do you think the public is still kind of reluctant to accept NFTs as the next step? Because every time we go on Twitter, we can find people fighting over it. Do you think it's an issue with the content creators that might not be communicating the message properly? Do you think it's a problem with the publishers of these games? Perhaps as publishers, you can tell me. Do you think it's an issue with you guys perhaps not selling it to more like people who might not know about it, like maybe us? Where do you think the problems come from?
If I can start as content creator as well,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's always for the content creator the responsibility to know how he communicates a product. So whether it's an NFT game or something different, so you have to try to be as honest as possible, whether you want to be rewarded for your times and efforts and put in a marketing campaign. But yeah, I think there's one thing basically. I mean, the NFT games is still a very wild section of the sort of crypto ecosystem, but because the NFT games are still sort of being developed, the NFT games that people are looking forward the most, they're still not out yet. So we've just been seeing a bunch of NFT projects that maybe are more like amateur or indie, and the thing is probably when this first play to earn mania started, there wasn't, as I said, there weren't many games. So I would say from my own experience, most of the player base now, although they're called player base because it's play to earn system, most of them, they come motivated for the earnings. They don't care much about the game, they just care about the earnings. So most of them, they just want a quick return, or they just look at it as a way to get money. Also because probably most of the games, they're still not fun on its own. I mean, if you take the money out of the equation, they're not that fun, or they're not comparable to the sort of mainstream games. So that's the thing. I mean, that's also a cause why the player base today, if they're still more interested in the money, they're not still that interested about the game. You will see them quickly reacting if the economy doesn't go. I mean, if the economy goes wrong, or the token, or you see like a downtrend. But I would say as the future evolves and more NFT games, more good NFT games come out, and for that's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Outer Ring. But as you see, sort of like more mature industry on NFT games, you will see also the player base changing, and more people coming because of the game, and earn being second. But now I think earn is first and play is second, kind of, or for most of the player base. And that's what also causes that when things go wrong, they react very strongly, and it's understandable, and it's up to also content creators to be responsible on what they do. But I think that's one of the causes and why we are where we are at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. What we're building with the Outer Ring is that we just put like a sandbox there for the players to explore the economy, and they will have to build it with the tools that we give them with the blockchain and token technology. So we are not like engineering any type of economy there. We're gonna let the free market go and see what the players can create and what they come up with. And that's, all the time that sandbox games can have come out in that way, as they really surprise the creators. So we're very interested to see what's going on with that.
Right. Well, I have a let's say a very particular opinion because, as I said before, I don't know if I said it before. I said that we were talking before the show, but we were selling NFTs before NFTs were called NFTs. So and it was back 2 years ago. And so when we started doing this, I mean, we were doing, as I said, we had for example Lignite. Lignite is a Fortnite-like game, but the soft currency is Bitcoin, and we had NFTs for all the skins and items in game and all the stuff, right? So that was our value proposition. So players could come to the game, purchase the skins, and knowing that the skin was absolutely unique somehow, but it was unique. Well, I know. Okay, for liquid NFTs, there could be maybe two copies or three or a few copies of the same skin, but they were limited anyway. So players knew that 2 weeks later, the same skin was not going to be on the item shop with a 25% discount or 50% discount. They knew that. They knew it was unique and it was not going to be sold again. The difference with these NFTs, they are not based on GameFi, right? This which is the NFT we have today. So these NFTs do not provide earnings. Like if you have an epic NFT, first you have a hyper mega pay to win item. Like for example, probably many people here knows Mir 4, this MMORPG. In Mir 4,
yeah.
I think the level 2 or level 3 NFTs characters, because they are composed of several items. One layer 2 or level 2, I don't remember the name around, can basically in PvP destroy a guild of 100 players. One person, one hero can destroy 1 versus 100 and destroy it. So that makes absolutely no sense. Makes sense for this kind of games, MMORPG, what we have always called Korean Grinder. So it was the name that used to be done because the style of the MMORPGs in Korea has always been lots of farming and grinding for levels, and I will remember
Lineage.
No, Lineage. Yeah, I was going to say Lineage 2, of course, Lineage 1 as well, but Lineage 2, where you could level forever, and whenever you die, you lost XP. So that was absolutely hardcore. Those things cannot exist nowadays. I mean, if they exist for a very small niche, but that was mainstream back in the days. But I wanted to say that I think that I have always lived when free-to-play games came to the market. I was in charge. I was a marketing director for Cabal Online back in 2009 when we was first published in Europe, and it was the first free-to-play game ever in the Western markets. And everybody was saying, "You are crazy. This is impossible. This will never work." Players were hating us. Oh, free to play. Everything is pay to win. Blah blah blah. And 10 years later, League of Legends is free to play. Counter Strike is free to play. Fortnite is free to play. Everything is free to play. Right. So it may happen. We don't know. It may happen. It may happen this. But I'm sure that the big problem right now that most players has is because NFTs is super pay to win, and being pay to win is in general players, tier 1 players, let's call it like that, tier 1 players with money is what they hate. The problem is that these NFTs play to earn games, they are a way of living for many people in tier 3 countries, in countries where they have a very small average salary and all these kind of things, and they are making a living out of this. And we need to respect this. If I would say to players, if you don't like these NFTs, you don't like these pay-to-win games, it's okay. You have plenty of games. We all have libraries full of games in Steam that we have never played. We purchase them, but we never play them. Yeah, we all have them. So go play those games. But these token games, these play-to-earn, as Omar said, they are more earned than played. They're actually, right now, many of them are financial products more than games. It's a financial product where the game is like a masquerade. It's like makeup for these games, and it doesn't make sense a lot. And also, as everything that happens in online business, this 7 months ago didn't exist, or 8 months ago. In June, Axie Infinity started to go into the moon. They went from having 20,000 players to several millions. They went from a few hundred thousands value to $9 billion value of their token market, which is just crazy. That's more value than Blizzard and several other big companies put together, and still it was bigger. And also the Centraland, the Sandbox, and many other other tokens. They were not 9 billion, but they were 5 billion, 6 billion. So it made no sense. 3 games with no players or no revenue. They were more valuable than the whole gaming market and the biggest brands that have been around for many years. So that made no sense. So there has to be a balance. There has been lots of scams right now. We have to say it. People need to be really aware. People need to be really aware what to purchase. Do not purchase NFTs if you don't actually trust well the company. Do not purchase that token or this token. You need to study. You need to study exactly who are these guys. Where the team has worked before in the gaming industry or are all from the financial industry. Are they actually showing things that looks like, look at the guys from Nexxyo, the Outerbrain. That's a proper game with demos, good team, all that. That is where you need to put your money off. Or games, the game. We have now Mostropoly coming up very soon. It's also a very complex game with lots of investment in development. This is what it was back in May. There were like 40 games in play-to-earn.net, and we were always in first in top, the most recommended game. And now there are more than 1,000 games. So just makes no sense. So I think part of the hate comes because of this, because of the free-to-play, the pay-to-win component, and because there have been so many scams. But I'm sure that NFTs sooner or later, as not only NFTs, but everything that is related to DeFi, it is starting to enter in every single industry that is related to online services, and it's gonna be affecting everything from logistic chains to anything. We are seeing what is happening in fintech, financials. Financial is just going crazy with DeFi because of DeFi, it just removes so many people in the value chain and replace and give the value directly to whoever is issuing the product and whoever is purchasing it, and this can be applied to almost everything. So NFT, there will be a balance. Some games will continue very super pay to win and they will earn money, but at the end of the day, most games will be normal games with NFTs, with some tokens, and that's my opinion.
No, but I like your opinion because I think you make strong points over there, especially as you said, sometimes it's always to have information to read and to see what you're doing exactly. And sometimes you have to find a project. And as you say, you have amazing projects here, full of the Satoshis for Ring, and also as a content creator, Dr. Emrys, and you get informed to everything. So instead of complaining about something that you don't understand, please try to learn about it. And as Timon and Pumbaa say, Hakuna Matata, please, guys, you can do that. But I would like now to focus on why you think that, for example, esport is seeing this play to earn as a possibility to see it as a competition, because I saw some teams that are actually, for example, with Outer Ring, I think one of the team are actually Team Heretics, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If not, Carmen, correct me. But I see like a lot of esports teams are tracking and seeing this as industry as something important, and maybe they see it as a competition. So I would like to know what is your opinion or your thoughts about it. Why they see it so fascinated about this topic? Not only non-fungible tokens, because I found that like a way to actually have fun service, but why these kind of projects?
Well, on our side, basically what's coming up with the games that are NFTs and have token prices is basically play to earn. And a lot of the games that are coming out are based around competitions. And esport itself is the competition part of video gaming. So it's like a perfect marriage, and right now people can get involved in this type of upcoming games, and then they can still win prizes within the tournaments, and everything's done to the special token. Most of the tokens that are coming up from different companies that are going to be listed will be exchanged with all major cryptocurrencies. So it's really interesting for esports to move along with Web3 and everything regarding NFTs and everything that's related to competitive online gaming, which is what we're trying to create. So a lot of companies are moving in this direction actually right now. So it's very interesting to see how the esports community and the players will adopt these new competitive games that are all integrated with NFTs and token rewards. So let's see, it's quite exciting.
I hope so.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I think the NFT games or that technology that allows with the blockchain, I think is great for the esports aspect of it, because first of all, I think, yeah, a good game needs esports. It's just the aspiration of becoming the best. It drives many people. They can see their idols, their teams, and they just want to be there one day, isn't it? So you can see with the amateur scene, in the schools, and in the schools, all the sort of the amateur leagues and what the scene they're bringing. So I think this technology allows for many things that are not possible with mainstream games. First, as Ricardo was mentioning, is just how easy it is to organize tournaments and rewards internally, because it's all set up, it's all within the token, and it's quite easy to share a prize pool. You don't need a middleman, you don't need someone sort of another organization to manage it externally. And then also is the way that someone can start their team. I mean, I remember when Titan Arena, one game that is probably not in the best shape now, but it was like the first sort of equivalent of Brawl Stars, a very popular game in Android, the equivalent in the blockchain. So I remember we were very interested in kind of investing in a competitive team, and just talking with people that was on the Brawl Stars scene. They were saying, oh, this is fantastic because we don't even need to get sponsorship. We can even just put together our savings, buy couple of champions, and sort of start to get the revenue directly. Because I mean, if some players of the best teams, maybe they got good contracts and stuff, but sometimes you can see horror stories as well of players not getting what they deserve. And this is much easier. It's all transparent. They can even they can create their own academy, just a bunch of friends. So it's much easier for people to sort of get that aspirational hope of becoming the top players, and it just facilitates many things. And there's also, of course, the scholarship systems. I mean, the scholarship is something that I'm not sure if Axie Infinity started, but it's a concept that you can get a partner, you can get a sponsor. Someone can pay for the NFTs and just give you access to the game itself, not to the exchange of rewards. Just play for me. Basically, I don't have the time, I've got the money, play for me, and then at the end of the month we see the rewards, and we can get a fair split between you and me. And that's another possibility that is fantastic. As Alfredo said as well, maybe I don't have the time to play, but there's someone in a country that maybe the salary is not I mean, the average salary is lower, and for him it might be an alternative to work, to like a physical work, let's say. But yeah, I mean, for him it might be an alternative way of earning a decent income, and that's something that, yeah, the blockchain facilitates, and you can't see that on the mainstream audience. So there are I think that's why there are many things that esports may be powerful. There's another one as well that I talked with the CEO of Illuvium, one of the sort of most looking forward games as well, and he was saying to get business, not just for the players, but to get investment, it's not enough like we can hold a final like one of the world champions in finals of League of Legends in the Madison Square Garden. We can also offer digital lands, digital stadiums. I think they're gonna sell lands for the game, and one of the top tier, there's the tier 5. They just got arenas. So that sort of land, they got arenas within the digital land, and they're not gonna be selling sort of in a public buy button. They're gonna sell by auction, and they're expecting to sell for millions. So that's what they were saying. But the thing is, I think they were thinking of selling like 4 or 5 lands, and these lands will be where the sort of world tournaments of that game will be held. So they will get some sort of money or passive income. So that's a kind of another financial product or product of interest that can be good for partners, and that's another way of benefiting from the blockchain. So I think there's a lot of possibilities. We will see them coming, but very, very hopeful and looking forward to it. And I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, right. You're saying what you just said, Omar, about these virtual stadiums. That was mentioned by Zuckerberg a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when they purchased the ESL license for the Counter-Strike tournaments. They were exclusivity for Facebook Live streamings, and they were saying that because of Oculus, they wanted to offer virtual stadiums and for the eSports and all that. But as they cancel the contract with CSL, I think that now the idea is not of Zuckerberg anymore, and now it's for other companies to do it.
Okay.
They will find a way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think play-to-earn games are really interesting for esports teams, because esports teams are always looking for revenue because they are not really profitable. That's one of the best problems. It's normal. I mean, when you see the esports market is like $1-3 billion for this year, I guess. That's the forecast, 1.5, something like that. Well, the video games that provides the content for the esports make like 100 times more, right? So I've always seen esports as part of the video game product, like the late game. That was in the past. That was starting. I mean, people just play in public servers, and when they wanted to have some more fun, were playing in clan servers. Clan become club today, right? So I'm saying this because as I see the eSport as part of the games, for me is at the moment, in my opinion, I see it more difficult that the new play-to-earn games develop this late game for eSports. That I mean, in order to have the numbers, right, a minimum numbers. For example, me in the past, I've run some games that had eSports. They were not even as popular as any of these games now, but we had a few 100,000 people playing them, and we have over 100 teams in ESL playing these games, and they were playing the big quality free to play, and it was a huge effort. I can't think how to make this nowadays in a play to earn game. It's so difficult. I think the interest is more for eSport teams thinking about fan tokens, right? I think fan tokens they are tailored to them. It's like in the football token for football teams, like the PSG and all the games that is based in this blockchain. I don't remember the name, sorry. I know the company is based in Turkey, and everybody's using the same tokens and the same blockchain. And actually, I have it installed in my telephone, but I'm not sure how to see it. Yeah, it's fans. The name is fans. Fans does something, and what they provide is just they put the tokens in the market, people some money for it, and people can decide some stuff in the stadium for football, like what music are we gonna be listening when the players come start in the stadium, or get out of the changing room, or what is the color of the seats in the stadium that day. This is the kind of things they are making decisions now. Or even they can be in a lottery, so they can win having dinner with Messi and Neymar, or Mbappe during this year, because next year they are not going to have the opportunity because he will be in Real Madrid apparently. So anyway, I think this is very similar. It's a way to find, maybe in eSport teams this makes a lot of more sense, because eSport teams they are born in the virtual space. They are born in the internet. Everything is related to the internet and social media for them. So I guess if people have fan token, you can do much more things, like giving VIP status in your Discord, like, I don't know, providing lots of perks, right? And that makes more sense. I'm making decisions about the skins of the players or whatever. So I think at the moment that is going to be the interest of eSports teams. I don't see any game right now that is going to have a fraction of the audience that Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Clash Royale, all these games have. I don't see it. I think is pretty far. And even as Omar mentioned, Titan Arena, it's true they're in bad shape now. Their token has gone down. They had a very strange financial model. It worked at the start. They made a huge. I mean, from a game publisher point of view, the success was unbelievable. They made like, I just checked Android, and in Play Store they made over, I don't know, 20 or 30 million downloads with 4.4 starts in the Play Store, and that is always, and that was in 2 weeks. That is an amazing success in the gaming market. That is incredible. It's awesome. It's like, even with the budget they have, because they have a small budget, I mean, the media value, I mean, you want to get 30 downloads in the Play Store as a publisher for mobile games, you probably need to spend something in between 50 and 150 million. It's all about, it may vary depending on the target region and who are you purchasing the traffic from. So it's a huge success, but Omar is right. Now the token is really going down because of the financial model, because there are so many problems in the game. But I think that has been the first attempt of having something really mainstream that was play to earn, but it didn't work. But I'm sure someone is gonna come later and gonna make a similar success with a different model, and it will work. And this is what we want to look. And Titan Arena was really a game that probably could have been a eSport game, because it's pretty similar to Brawl Stars. So that was a candidate. Didn't work. Let's wait for the next one.
Yeah, but I think they screw it up because of how the token is given as well, and the game.
Exactly. So and the price of the heroes, and the
return of investment was like 1,000% return of investment in 1 week or something like that for the NFTs. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. And what got the community mad, I think, it was that the fact that they just got, I think, tens of millions of dollars as in revenue, and they basically, I think they just spent like 2, 3, or 4 millions trying to rescue their token. So people got mad at that, because they made loads of bad decisions, and you can't recover from that. No, it's difficult.
So now it's like on the downfall. People are just angry. You need to keep the players happy and engage all the time in order, to monetize it.
There's one game now. It's not advertising or anything like that, but there's one game that resembles me, kind of the trying to approach the same model that Titan Arena. Is called Golden Bros, and it's funny because they come from Netmarble, so it's one of the top South Korean game developers in mobile as well, and they're trying to replicate their model. It's a similar game, and it's funny how now this kind of approaching with articles and announcements saying, we want to do the tokenomics different, we want to pay attention, we want to listen to the community. So there's some hope on that, but as Alfredo said, I mean, there will always be another one that is trying to replicate the model, because I think there's the spot in the market and the people willing to jump into this because of, as I said, Alfredo said, the reception that Titan Arena had, and it's just someone that gets it right, and will, if it's one of the first, probably get a lot of success, but we'll see.
We will see which one. And now we have a final topic, but before that, I have a question here in the chat, and maybe it will be interesting to see your opinion or your thoughts regarding this. And it's from Monkey Magic. I love your username, Monkey. So here is asking you, if, in your opinion, what AAA developer do you think will adopt an NFT technology first? Also, what IP or genre of game will you think will benefit more of using NFT? I don't know if maybe Ubisoft were doing something related with that, but I'm not right about it. So maybe you guys know better than me.
No, I can answer that. No AAA developer is gonna properly adopt NFTs because they are accustomed to the old business model, I guess, of creating video games.
Yeah, on the short term maybe, but on the long term, I mean, we know Ubisoft has been investing. Ubisoft have been investing on NFT games and blockchain.
I was gonna say
a couple of years already. I know, for example, also NeoBit is doing that also. I know there are other projects in wargaming, so there are. I mean, AAA developers Ricardo is right. I think it will be more triple A publishers that are going to
Yeah.
be doing this. Developers,
Yeah.
at the moment, they will need a project from the publisher. Of course, nobody's going to put their money right now to risk it. But we know there are people working on this, and sooner or later, there will be one of these games. I mean, one of these publishers, they will do one. And about the
I think
IP of the
the-
year, sorry, Omar.
No. So, no. I was gonna say yes, Alfredo.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. Sorry. As Alfredo said, Ubisoft probably is the one that is been sort of been shown publicly more. That is at least considering the blockchain technology. But there's a good point whether they will do the switch or not. I'm not entirely sure on how that will be done. But so as Alfredo said, I think there's the misconception of saying if there's going to be a switch on its own at some point. I think we are seeing now developers with experience in AAA studios just moving or trying to do stuff with the blockchain with their own games. So I think that's probably we will see more and more and more. Probably more sort of new studios coming out with people with experience in AAA studios and just creating their own products. I mean, there are many projects already with people with experience in AAA games and artists, developers, and I think that probably will be. I mean, I've seen many rumors that these companies are creating their own products, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But we'll definitely get a gradual transition of workforce. Yeah, 100%. And I think the other question was about the genre. I think many genres can benefit from it. But yeah, from my heart, I would say action RPGs are the ones that I can see the most utility. And also trading card games. I think there is one of those genres that can benefit a lot from blockchain. But there's always a use case for any genre, to be honest.
Yeah. Trading card games, no doubt. I mean, the first time I saw an NFT game was 2017 in Game Connection Paris. French developers were already doing NFTs. They, of course, didn't call it NFTs, but they were having this unique card for the CCG. And of course, I was really surprised by that because we were running in my previous publisher, we were running a MMO CCG, and we were really interested. That's the reason why I ended up here and nowadays in doing these things, because we saw that. I mean, it was very clear. Especially because we knew, because of running these games for so many years, that players were looking for something like this, especially card games. I mean, anyone who has played Magic the Gathering or similar games or know people has done this, they know the craziness about the collectible things. Actually, there are. I would not call them play to earn. I would actually call them play to earn and collect, or play to collect. And I think that would be a more appropriate name for these games. Play to collect, because all these kind of people these kind of players of these card games, they are really, really unique in terms of how they love their collection of stuff. And this happened before, as I said, Magic the Gathering and on these games, and they are more happy about their collection of cards than actually their victories or all this. It's what really drives them. You need to respect this completely, right? This collecting things has been a thing on humanity for, I think, probably since the cave. So yeah, so this is all I can say about the gen. About the IP, who knows? It's impossible to know. But as Omar said, of course, RPG games. Of course, there will still be some games that will never have NFTs, or they have no reason to have NFTs, like, I don't know, story-driven games or this kind of games, premium games that they don't make sense to having NFTs. Maybe you can give them some NFTs because if they actually complete the game or something like that. But I don't see. It's my experience over the last 20 years in this gaming industry is that you can never say. So I'm really tired of making predictions and being wrong all the time. So just stop making predictions.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask you, Alfredo.
I think anyway, a good point that Alfredo touches, I think, is obviously single player games will be more difficult to sort of implement the NFT technology. But anything that is multiplayer, competitive, I think there can always be a use case. And also what Alfredo said, sometimes some of the games that are based on collectibles, so anything that is based on, I mean, you can sort of represent those cars or whatever with NFTs, but anything that is based on collection or that doesn't have a token involved might be even more sustainable in the sense that it will be driven by supply and demand. But because the game itself is not sort of creating a token, it doesn't have to control the economy in a stronger way. It might be even more sustainable.
Solare.
Yeah, that's it.
And you, Ricardo, that didn't have the chance to. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, on this that we discussed before, we have to see where the video game industry is going. You know, some people are reluctant to it in regards to NFTs and blockchain technologies because there was a lot of scam. So I believe what happened with the free-to-play model is that new companies, like Omar said, came with all developers and created new IPs and new technologies. I don't think the all traditional studios will understand how to do this. EA tried to do some NFT minting and it all went really bad. And then they took Valve. We know said no to NFTs on Steam. It's not supporting any games there. So we're going to see and what happens with the games and how it transforms and how many games prevail and what new IPs come out of it. But the problem is that nobody understands really how to use the NFTs within the game yet. There's a lot of experiments there, and there's a lot of games that are going to fail, of course. But we need to see and wait until all these new projects come out and see how the public react and how they interact with it and how it grows.
I think at the end everything is related with the future, so we have to move to the last point. So Carmen, made you do the honors here.
Yeah, of course. So the last question is, in short, what do you think is going to happen with NFTs and esports? Like, how is this relationship going to evolve in between 2022 and 2023?
Now I know that I cannot trust Alfredo with this, but it's okay.
We don't have a crystal ball. That's why we don't know. It's like I said, up to undiscovered country to some extent and to explore what projects come out. But I think it will be good. I think it will give more power to the players. Will be more democratized. It will empower the games as well, the developers, and then to get finance on that side with all cryptocurrencies. So it's all good. The problem is that it has gained bad reputation because what happens with all the scams with OneCoin and other cryptocurrencies that have been just stealing people's money. And there was a huge wave at the beginning of NFTs where people stole all their art, convert that into an NFT and then sold it for money. So we have to live with that baggage for now, but the technology was intended to be, you can use a knife to make dinner or kill somebody. So, and we're not banning knives everywhere. So the same goes for NFTs. So they have written this bad reputation, and people need to, believe in it and then move forward. And with all the positive aspects of NFT gaming and all that's coming up with blockchain gaming as well.
Right. I mean, it's very difficult to forecast. It's complicated how it's going to be affecting. I think the first thing we will need will be a eSport game that has NFT technology. However they use it, or however they want to use it. An eSport game with the numbers, with big numbers, so there's big audience and all this. If you want to actually have an impact from a game to the esports industry or ecosystem, I think there is plenty of possibilities, like having esports creating their own NFTs in game and selling it to their fans, or the other way around. I mean, it's gonna be helping a lot finance the teams. That's what I think. Because there's gonna be a direct relation between the teams and the players. That's something that doesn't happen today. They need to go always through the publisher or developer. that's freedom that there can be, and there can be other options. I can tell right now. I think we're gonna need to wait a little longer than 2 years or maybe 1 year and a half to have a game that can be, I don't know, maybe no. I'm not gonna say tier 1 in eSport games, but maybe tier 2. That's gonna take some time, maybe 2 or 3 years minimum, and it will probably be a shooter rather than a MOBA. I think it's gonna be easier, right? I don't know how I see it. I think it's easier to enter in the shooter eSport market and get your audience rather than in the MOBA, like MOBA Dota, like League of Legends or Dota 2 and all this is very complicated to enter there. Many big names has tried it over the years and they have failed. And I don't think NFT game is gonna make it that easy because they will have they don't have as much as money as others have tried. So it's a big marketing effort. It's so complicated to enter right now to compete in terms of marketing investment and production with League of Legends and all these games. So it's impossible right now for so we need to wait for something that may happen and they will have the money and then I don't know. But that's all I can tell. No more. It's very difficult to forecast.
Yeah, no, I agree with Ricardo and Alfredo there. I think in 2 years' time is still a short amount of time before we can see any sort of adoption, I would say. I think we all agree like this technology facilitates many things and will give ownership to the player. But yeah, there's still a lot of education that needs to be given and also to keep that, to sort of take away that bad reputation as well that the ecosystem is getting now before we can see a huge adoption. I think also there's the problem with the custody. Now, I mean, another reason why those scams are so easy for the scammers to get away with it, because you can't claim anyone. I mean, who do you claim if you lose your funds? You can go to to the FCA or a central organism and claim. So there has to be a lot of education and maybe some people even getting the custody of the funds or being responsible. And but yeah, I think we'll probably maybe in a couple more years, I guess, than 2. We might see the esports industry getting more and more towards the blockchain technology with decent games where there are like good games that are popular, that are addictive, that whatever, and players really want to play. And I think also there will be loads of price incentives. At the same time, we saw Dota to offer any amount. I can't remember how many millions for that tournament. I know Illuvium said it will offer like 5 millions for the first esports tournament. So there will be many price incentives because at least in this industry, I know projects can make money, can collect money. So I would see that in esports, huge prize pools for the first games that try to do proper tournaments. And I think on my wishful thinking list probably will be also this switch to the metaverse, seeing it more and more relevant with even alternatives to sort of to real jobs being more and more common. So people can decide. I mean, probably it's not sort of the future that I will see everyone connected to a machine and in their bed for 10 hours. But yeah, that's the thing. But, probably.
You will be assimilated with history for that. I don't know. That's very complicated.
It is.
I have some mates right now, and I was working back in the 90s already on online, and we were doing already e-commerce and all that, and everything failed because there was only 5% of the people connected to the internet, so it was impossible to make it work. I think there's gonna be an adoption. It needs some time. We need time. We need several years, maybe not 5 years, maybe 10 years. I mean, the metaverse. Yeah. For me, the metaverse is the .com bubble that we had back 20 years ago when everybody was investing crazy in e-commerce and technology companies like they were already here where we are now, 20 years later. So it was a very, very anticipated investment. So I think it needs some time. Sorry to interrupt you, Omar.
No. You make a good point, Alfredo. Yeah, I think it will take lots of time. It will take many. Yeah. big amount of time, but we kind of see the direction where we're heading. Not sure when, but if we're here, it's because we recognize the potential. So we're in the other side of the story. We'll see how it
Yeah.
pans out. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
We will see what happens in the future. So actually, we are current of time, but thank you so much, guys, for being here and having this conversation. It has been quite insightful and really interesting. And I hope to have you again because I think I will have more questions related with this, and I would love to see more projects in relation with Play to Earn. And we will see what the future at the end hold us. But now I have to say goodbye.
See.
Please, I will hide you, but please don't go because I have to put my formal goodbye with my colleague Carmen. But now we have to say goodbye to the audience. So goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, it's a pleasure anytime, and you know where I am. I'm not in the metaverse, but I'm on Twitch most of my time. So yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, Ricardo.
No, I was thank you for this panel. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We felt very comfortable. It was nice talking to you guys, to everyone here. And just wishing to everyone to have a very nice life in the metaverse over the coming years. You won't see me there, not at the moment. I actually like being on the forest and all that, you know. And I don't want to have any glasses. I like running in the forest in the morning, 7 in the morning, with all the birds around and the snow and all that. I love that. I mean, no one is gonna take that out of me. I'm sorry, at the moment. And it's telling you someone that has been playing online games for more than 20 years and plays League of Legends every day and plays Fortnite every single day. That's me. And no, you are not going to take that from me. Sorry, Zuckerberg and everyone around. I'm not giving away my forest.
That's good.
That's good, Joe. Thank you so much for having you here. It has been really interesting, and I will hide you now, but we have to say goodbye to all the audience. But thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, Carmen, it has been really interesting to have these panels. I hope you learn as much as I do, because I think I learned a lot and a lot of projects already. And now I would like to try a Play to Earn, but maybe I will be really bad at it. Maybe I will be really bad at... I'm really bad at any game, so that's good. Well,
Okay, so yeah, it's time to say goodbye. Remember that during the week you've got plenty of shows here at Esports Business Live. You've got corporate marketing, walkers, top. You've got many of those every single day, so don't forget to tune in. And that's it for us today. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Monday. Goodbye.
We will see you next Monday, and thank you so much for all the audience that came from part of Emir. It has been really nice to have you here, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you like our content, maybe for the Totoro, you can do that, because it was really nice to see that Totoro over there. So see you, Carmen, for the next week. Bye-bye.